How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Schmoedown Central. I'm your host, Brad Thomas, breaking down the week that was in the movie trivia. Schmoedown 2 big team matches, the end of round number 1 and the beginning of round number 2. An exciting match in both instances, so let's get into some of these matches and break down what exactly happened. So on Tuesday, we had the Evil Geniuses taking on the Wildberries. The Wildberries sticking together, coming in with the 2-2 record with one knockout, while the Evil Geniuses, comprised of Lon Harris and JTE. Round number 1 was underway, and JTE and Lon Harris had the lead and did not let go of it. Both competitors playing their A game, while Josh and Eliot, they're doing enough to get by, but not enough to catch up to the Evil Geniuses. Question number 6, there was a challenge on the question with the birdcage. Josh, of course, not putting the in the answer, but the decision was upheld, but still, the Evil Genius went on to lead after one round by a score of 14-7. JTE, he went 7 for 8. Lon Harris also going 7 for 8. Josh Macuga, he went 3 for 8. And Eliot Dewberry, he went 4 for 8. Round number 2, Evil Genius is up first with the category of 80s movies and end up dominating this category, going 6 for 6, getting a possible 10 out of 12 points. A very impressive round by both competitors, each knowing their stuff here, and go up by a giant margin by a score of 24-7 midway through round 2. A very tough score to come back from. Wildberries up next, they spin the category of Kevin Smith movies, and they end up going 5 for 6, getting a possible 8 out of 12 points though. They did give up 1 point steal on question 4. They managed to get within that 10-point margin on the final question there to have the Evil Geniuses lead 25-15 after round number 2. Just enough to get by. Round number 3, Wildberries needing a lot to get back in this one. Every question they need to get correct, and the first question came in the category of Denzel Washington movies. Both Josh and Eliot debating who to take the question. Josh ends up taking it, but it should have been Eliot. Eliot knew this answer, and unfortunately Josh not able to come up with the correct answer. Didn't know 2 of the movies that Spike Lee directed with Denzel Washington in the movie, as now the Evil Geniuses win this one, moving on in the tournament by a score of 25-15. Via TKO. With victory, Evil Geniuses improved to 1-0 with one knockout. Wildberries, they fall to 2-3 with one knockout. The Evil Geniuses, they went an astounding 20 for 22 on the day for a total of 91%, a very impressive feat on their end, while the Wildberries, they went 12 for 23 for 52%, just over the 50% margin. Not the worst game you've ever seen here, but just going up against 91% is going to be tough for any team to do. On the individual side of things, both JT and Lon Harris leading the way, each going 7 for 8 for 88%, while on the Wildberries side of things, Eliot leading the way with 4 for 8 for 50%, while Josh went 3 for 9 for 33%. So there you have it, the Evil Geniuses moving on in the Anarchy team tournament, but it unfortunately will not be with the exact Evil Geniuses. It will now be the Harris brothers. JT unfortunately getting in an accident, unable to compete for the rest of the year, out of the singles tournament, out of the team tournament. Unfortunate set of circumstances here, but they will keep that 1-0 record moving on into the next round, and it will be the Harris brothers, Lon Harris's brother, coming in to save the day. We'll see what they can do. Could be a little up in the air. We'll see exactly how their round 2 matchup starts out and how that progresses, but it'll be interesting to see. And unfortunate for the Wildberries, but of course they will always stick together, I hope, at least, and the inclusion of Ricky as their manager was always exciting as well. But let's get into the beginning of round number 2 in this Anarchy team tournament. So round 2 kicking off with the Odd Couple taking on the Paddington 2. The Paddington 2 coming in with the 1-0 record with one knockout, while the Odd Couple also coming in with the 1-0 record and one knockout. Round number 1 was very close by both teams here. Nearly a perfect round for Marc Andreyko, and Jeff Sneider, Matt Atchity, and Alonso Duralde all pulling their part to get their team some points. A couple misses here and there for every competitor, but overall, a very solid round by everyone. Marc Andreyko, of course, leading that way, going 7 for 8. Partner Jeff Sneider, he went 6 for 8. Matt Ashley leading his team, going 6 for 8. And Alonso going 5 for 8 to give the Odd Couple a 13-11 lead after round number 1. Round number 2, the Paddington 2 were up first, and they spin the category of Spinner's Choice and decide to go with holiday movies, as Alonso has wrote a book on it, and they do quite well for themselves, going 6 for 6 and a possible 11 out of 12 points. Matt actually having to help out on a question or 2 there, but overall it was the Alonso Duralde show, and he showed why he knows holiday movies. Again, 6 for 6, 11 out of 12 points, impressive round for the Paddington 2 to give them now a 22-13 lead midway through round 2. The Odd Couple, they were up next though, and they spin the category of Nicole Kidman movies, and do not too bad for themselves here, only missing on one question, and they go 5 for 6, getting a possible 9 out of 12 points, enough to tie it up at 22-22, a solid round for the Odd Couple, and it led it into a action-packed round number 3. And in that third and final round, the Paddington 2 are up first. They get the category of comic book movies. Matt Atchity deciding to take this one, getting the question correct, but Marc Andreyko challenges this question about the mask and the graphic novel nature of it, and when it was released and all that. And of course, there was a new question then awarded. They kept their challenge, and a tougher comic book question for Matt Atchity, but he does manage to get that question correct. The Odd Couple, they were up next, question number 1, coming in the category of Meryl Streep movies. Marc Andreyko decided to take this one, and he gets that question correct with ease. The Paddington 2 up next again with the 3-pointer. Alonso taking this one in the category of action-adventure. An unfortunate one for him, not able to get the correct answer. The Odd Couple then back to them. Jeff Sneider with his second question, the 3-pointer, coming in the category of comedy movies, and answers it instantly, only guessing 3 movies as opposed to the correct answer of 4. Should have maybe spent more time on it, but if he didn't know it, he didn't know it. The Paddington 2, though, they were up next with their 5-pointer, coming in the category of Tarantino movies. Really needing to hit this one to put the pressure on the Odd Couple and not have to rely on overtime. And unfortunately, they end up saying Brunhilde as opposed to Broomhilda. It was challenged by the Paddington 2, but of course that challenge was upheld. An unfortunate miss by them, just missing on the letter. While the Odd Couple, though, they could close out with this 5-pointer, not having to go to overtime, came in the category of Oscar movies, having to use all 3 of their repeats, and a big guess with the answer of Sam Mendes gets them the victory, moving on in the Anarchy Team Tournament and winning it by a score of 29-24. With victory, the Odd Couple improved to 2-0 with 1 knockout, while the Paddington 2 falling to 1-1 with 1 knockout. The Odd Couple, they went 20 for 25 for 80%, while the Paddington 2 going 18 for 25 for 72%. Not a bad game by the Paddington 2 by any stretch, just the Odd Couple able to close it out there, getting 2 extra questions correct and managing to hit that crucial 5-point question. On the individual side of things, Marc Andreyko leading the way, going 8 for 9 for 89%, while Jeff Sneider going 6 for 9 for 67%. Matt Atchity leading his team, going 7 for 9 for 78%, and Alonso going 6 for 9 for 67%. So there you have it. Our first victors of round number 2 are the Odd Couple, Jeff Sneider and Marc Andreyko. Moving on to the next round, Roxy Strife, of course, managing there and doing a great job of getting these competitors to work together. I do want to see, though, the Paddington 2 continue as a team because they had a very great game, 1 knockout under their belt. Hopefully they can stick together after this tournament ends here, because I think they really complement one another quite well. They're good friends as well, so hopefully we can see that in the future, but taking nothing away from the Odd Couple. Moving on, if they can continue this hot streak, we'll see exactly what happens in the next round of this Anarchy Team Tournament. Of course, then moving on, but let's get into what's going to happen next week on the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. So next week on the Movie Trivia Schmoedown, October 16th, we got the Cinemaniacs taking on Who's the Boss. Of course, the Cinemaniacs are William the Beast Bibiani and Matt Nose taking on Ben Bateman and Mark Riley. 2 horsemen going up one another, but this should be a very exciting match. Potential 2 winners of the tournament, and only one, of course, will prevail. It should be exciting. Should be some fireworks here. The Beast is the champ for a reason, and of course, Ben Bateman and Mark Riley working well together in their first match. Can they continue to try to push those problems to the wayside and move on in the tournament? We'll have to see. It should be an exciting one. And then, of course, on the 19th, we got Take the Cannoli versus the Harris brothers. Take the Cannoli, of course, Drew McWeeny and Brianne Chandler. They were impressive in their first round match, and can they continue that hot streak into the next round? The Harris brothers are down the wild card here. We'll have to see how they do. No JT, unfortunate again for him there, but it will be an exciting one to see what the Harris brothers can bring against Take the Cannoli. Former team champion Drew McWeeny is not going to go down lightly, but we'll see what happens. For our play of the week, though, that's got to be the Odd Couple's 5-point question, the category of Oscar movies, and managing to get the question correct. A big pull, using all 3 of those repeats, getting that Sam Mendes answer correct, and just an impressive way to win the match and move on in the tournament. As for our misplay of the week, that's also going to be from the same match, the Paddington 2, their 5-pointer, and unfortunately saying Brunhilde as opposed to Broomhilda, 1 letter off, and it's just an unfortunate one for them, a fortunate miss, as Alonso kind of mentioned in his post-game interview. Most times it is Brunhilde. Unfortunately, in Tarantino's movie, it was Broomhilde. And our player of the week has got to be also Marc Andreyko in this match. He was very impressive, not taking away anything from Lon Harris and JT, each going 7 for 8 in their match, but Marc Andreyko going 8 for 9. Impressive also in that category of Nicole Kidman, missing only on the 1 question, and just an overall great game for Andreyko, playing the game really smart with his partner Jeff Sneider, making sure not to spit out any answers early, and just an impressive victory for the Odd Couple. So that does it for this episode of Schmoedown Central. Again, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos each week. Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below, what you think of next week's matchups, what you think of the play and misplay player of the week. If you have any thoughts at all, let me know that. I love reading those comments. if you get more involved. It's just exciting for me, just hearing your guys' thoughts. What you think I can do to improve this show even. And I'm always open to creative, constructive criticism and all that stuff, so let me know all that in the comment section below. Of course, follow me on Twitter at 94BreadThomas or at Schmoedown to keep up to date with new videos dropping each week. Trying to get these up as soon as I can. I work like every weekend though, so it's tough too, but again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it'll be up sometime before next week's matchups always. So again, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and until next week, I'll talk to y'all next time on Schmoedown Central.